Hi everyone, Rebecca here. I promised to do a pocket walkthrough and how I'm making it work for both personal and work life in such a small size. I think that most of you have seen me always in a personal size planner, and as you can tell, this is a much smaller version. So I'm going to show you what I was able to do by moving over to pocket size. So first, let's do a quick walkthrough of how I set it up. So I have a few coins in the zipper pocket. I have my driver's license, military ID, and my primary ATM card in there. The next pocket has my currency and an in case of emergency card poking out the long ways so that it can be spotted quickly by emergency responders. And then behind this pocket I have some, believe it or not, this I use to draw straight lines on my planner, and I have two of them. I've got some washi sheets. My stamps, believe it or not, they still only have Christmas stamps left. I don't know why the post office is so behind. Anyway, some miscellaneous stamps. Haven't used them yet, meaning I haven't used these yet, but I do use the washi tapes and the little cards. So I'll put that back in a minute. This red, it's actually Crimson Pocket Malden, arrived today in the mail. I do have this in the personal size, as I mentioned before. I love both of them. It was my first planner of Filofax brand, and I just find them very appealing. So my information sheet, I kept these in here, these little info about clothing size equivalents and religious festivals, weights and measures. The reason for that is because we're going on a trip to Europe in June, and these are going to come in handy if I do any shopping or whatever. So I thought, I'm going to hold on to those. I don't even know why I keep these, but I used to use them just to mark off the month that I was in, so I could quickly know, like, see which. So right now I'm in March, and I plan to put one of these little highlighter stickers that coordinate with the color that it is, and keep going. I got this from Miss Wenda's blogspot, I think. I'll put a link to her page, but she does a lot of free, provides a bunch of free printables in a variety of sizes, and I saw this one and thought it was adorable. And then, as you know, I always am in DIYFish inserts. I did start this using a Pocket Giglio Miyakara, which is this one. And it's kind of like a planner inside of a planner, but the rings were really tiny and it was hard to turn the pages with so much stuff. And when I saw Malden come up, the rings are so much bigger, so I ended up switching. I'm able to get 2 months worth of DIYFish inserts into this. I'm going to tell you right out, I did a crappy job in not printing, but in cutting. I used the straight blade. I thought I was doing okay, but maybe it was the hole punching or something, because, you know what it was? It turned out to be that I wasn't printing to the PDF size of the paper, and so it was cutting off the cut lines on the daily pages, I think it was, and it totally threw me off, so I was cutting them weird. Anyway, the month of March came out fine, and to be honest with you, I'm doing kind of what I did before, where I just crossed off the day. I'm not really referencing it, just except when I'm referencing the month, like what day falls under what. You know, when is Friday the 23rd, you know, or whatever. It's, you know, because I have to always do presentations for Train the Trainer, things like that on a Friday. So I'm always checking to see when Fridays are or fall on, or when a Monday, because we have releases that happen on Mondays, etc. So I'm always like checking what day is on a specific day of the month. So I'm not really using this like anymore to indicate like the birthdays, etc., because I moved into the daily pages, and I'm going to show that to you in just a second. So then you have your weekly fold out. The weekly fold out I have been using, but not as needed as much. So in this particular example, I had Help It Bar. I think I had one more week here. So I had the Apple Watch launch was that week, and then I put Bar Help, Payday, Lauren's Day Off, and then on the opposite side I was using for groceries at the top and things I was pending, but I ended up switching that to a different method. Then I helped at the bar again, and then Lauren had off, and I was supposed to go to the office, but that appointment got canceled. And then on these little back fold outs, when did I start it? Right here. I was putting what I bought and what I received in the mail. And at one point I got a notice about our smoke alarms getting recalled, and then this column was supposed to be for bills. So I only had the one bill that week. So that was the weekly. Now, you guys know I've been using pretty much just weekly pages in my personal size. So to switch to the daily was a huge change for me, and I wasn't sure if it was going to work out for me. So let me show you what I was able to do. Now, I did have to tweak it, and I'll show you where I tweaked it. So I did still do my tracking of my weather and my moods, the water intake, etc. Up in the upper right corner is where I put to-dos that are more house related or personal to-dos. I just got a new tomato plant, and I'm trying to make a habit of watering it every day. So notes about writing people whose birthdays it is, etc. So I make sure to wish them happy birthday. And then this to-do side is work, almost always work related, but sometimes I'll fit something in there that's personal as well. Then on the right hand side is the work schedule. I highlighted appointments that I didn't want to miss. Not that I would miss them, but it kind of makes it stand out and pop more on the page. I did put a little bit of sticker, you know, just to make it more colorful, but it's not there for any purpose. And then you move on to the next page. Again, a little bit of more decoration, and I still mark these, but I put the little arrow indicating that I had to move that task to a different day. And when I was doing that, so for example over here I had the check mark to indicate I highlighted things that like had to be done that day. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. An appointment that got squeezed in between these two, because the only difference between the pocket size and the medium size is that the pocket, or excuse me, the medium size has the 30-minute mark in between these, where this pocket size is too small to do that. And so I had 3 appointments within the 8 o'clock hour, the 8:30 hour, and the 9 o'clock hour. So it was crammed. So I just indicated a little arrow saying there's an appointment in between that. Then my to-dos, and I'm waiting for a moment to explain. Okay, so here's one. I had an E in it. So some of these have E's in them, and that indicates it was a to-do, but in order to find the answer to what I needed, I had to email, but I didn't get an immediate response. So if I emailed somebody, I would put a note over here on the right hand side to remind myself to not forget that I'm still waiting for a response from that. So this filled up rather quickly, so I'm going to show you what I ended up switching to. to make it a little bit easier. But let's move on to the calendar over here. So some highlighted items. I usually check mark to say that I sent meeting minutes for those, and then if they're not highlighted, it's usually a thing that I need to do or a place that I need to go. Like I wanted to make sure I left enough time to change clothes, etc., because I was going to be helping at the bar. And then on my way out, I wanted to check with the post office, but and then we didn't go to Planet Fitness, but I had accidentally written this in permanent ink, so I just put an X on it here. And then what we did afterward, because my daughter was visiting. And then the next day, again, I kept putting arrows, but I finally did move boxes. I put some washi tape stickers on here. Again, we didn't go out. It was my daughter's last day home, and little flags for just to see if it would work. I don't like this stuff because it's in my way. Again, one little piece of decoration, but I don't like to use too much of that. It's nice for the color. That's about it. Here's another one, putting on my to-dos, my birthdays, and then my E, and then arrow to pushing it forward. But again, remember, if I didn't get it done here, it was eventually going to be marked over here on this side. I did have an appointment here. Oh, my daughter, Nicole, my other daughter was arriving. So one daughter left in the morning and the other daughter was supposed to arrive, but she ended up arriving the next day. So I moved the sticker and it kind of left an imprint, I think, on my paper. So I moved it over here. Again, I had a lot of to-dos. Usually Fridays are super busy. And then hubby and I went out to dinner. So as you can see, this was working fine on a daily basis, but it was the big stuff like moving items and making sure that they were going to be held accountable for, and that I didn't let them fall through the cracks. So usually I don't track too much stuff on the weekends, so you can see here there's nothing written down. But on the back of these, you have your kind of weekly review. So I would indicate what I accomplished that's trackable for work on one side. It's kind of hard to explain, but I have a trackable side and I have a trackable side that's for that aren't release related, and you wouldn't understand what that means. But so I have two separate trackable items that I had to keep track of. So I ended up combining them because it really doesn't matter. As long as I have a list somewhere, I go down my list, I email the appropriate person, and all is well at the end of the week. Now, then I started the next week. So again, I started using this side instead. I swapped to indicate purchases. I was going to put bills here. I actually did bills today, but I haven't filled anything in here yet. And then I did do a lot of these things. So I watered and I made yellow chicken, and I did not break down the boxes. I still need to do that. And yes, Diego's birthday, I wished him happy birthday. Anyway, so there are all my items, but you'll notice on the flip out, I don't have anything. That's because what I did was I took a Project Life card, and it originally didn't have this. It's a business card, adhesive business card holder, and they look like this. They're side loading, and they come on a sheet where you can just remove them and stick them to whatever. Now, I saw this on someone else's video, and I think it was Jordan Powers who might have influenced somebody else to do it, but it's just an adhesive, so you just take off the back of this, and then somebody put a notch in there using a hole punch, and I can't remember who it was, but it was an awesome idea. So I did the same. I got the side loading and I put a little notch. Now this is simply a business card. Well, actually it's not a business card, it's a moving card when we moved into the new house, but because we have so many left over, I didn't need as many that came that were free. I just am using the back of the business card, and I made a little like urgent notice sign, and I made it perfectly the same size as these little yellow Post-it notes. Well, actually, I have them in a variety of colors, but I wanted it to be able to just stand out. So if anything is super urgent, has to be done that day, don't forget kind of thing, I'm going to put it here. But on the back side, I put this little, I think it's by Daytimer. It's a long Post-it note. I got it at Staples. I think they even sell it at Office Depot or Office Max. And so when this is in here, like so, and something gets moved over, let me use this as an example. So this normally would be here on my day, right? So here I am on a Tuesday, I do all my stuff. I have an E that says, oops, sent request for this. So I would write down, I'm pending that item so that I don't forget. So at the end of the week, I make sure to either reach back out to say what's going on with this, or I move it to next week and put it on my daily pages so that, you know, like I said, it doesn't drop off my radar. Then I put all my, lately I've been putting my appointments in red, as you can see here. And then it doesn't matter which day I'm on, because here I'm on Tuesday. When I go to Wednesday and I'm working on Wednesday, it's just that this is visible. I did try to hole punch one on both sides so I could have it like flip the other way. I don't like it because it gets like jaggedy feeling. So I prefer to have it only on one side. So it doesn't bother me that this is on the back side when I'm working on a Wednesday, if that makes sense. So every night I just slide this over. I add any items that I need to add to this list, and then it goes on to the next week. So yesterday was extremely busy. I actually ran out of room to write to-dos, so I ended up having to move them over here. Then I started realizing I'm going to group things by context of what do I need to do with it. For example, all the C's are calls. All the A's are agenda items, meaning that when I talk to this person, I need to talk to them about it. It's a topic. It's a bullet point of topics I need to discuss. So I had 2 agenda items. I had 2 writes, meaning I need to write these things. An email, I forget what the O was. Online. O was online. E, again, email. R was to record, etc. So my husband's been sick all week. We did not do our gym this week because of it. This is a little, it came with the planner that I got today, and I put extra little things on it, but it's a Post-it note. I have the actual pad that somebody was brilliant enough to cut it down and laminate it, and so I can use my dry erase markers or a Sharpie on it and then wipe it clean. So I thought that was cute. I'm not sure if it'll stay there, but again, this always stays with me. So this was today's. I didn't do a couple of these items on here. I did water the tomatoes. I did pick up my prescription. I did not do that. That was important. And I did not do that. But I did pay those bills. And this was done, and this was a cancel call. So that's typical. And then Saturday and Sunday is pretty wide open right now. And then here are my accomplishments. I need to finish writing anything else, so I'll review the week, put it down on here, and then like I said, this today marker goes with me all the way to next week. So I do plan to continue to use this side for a grocery list. I did attempt to use the weekly chart and cut holes on both sides. I'll show you in just a minute because I set that up for April. And then this could be potentially things that I want to remember to do for next week. So I haven't really decided yet. But moving into next week, see, this is why I don't like to use non-friction pens, because I wrote this at the bar to remind me to bring a stapler because theirs is falling apart. And now I can't erase it to write it nice and pretty because it looks awful the way I wrote it. Anyway, these are things that I needed to remember, but I didn't want to have to go to the specific day. So somebody's coming in to look at my garage door between those hours, so I'll move it and indicate it on the day. My daughter is having her baby on Wednesday, and my husband is leaving Tuesday night with my other daughter to stay with her. And then, so most of these get the days get filled out for my calendar appointment on Sunday night. So I go through my entire calendar. I also, put in the weather for the day, and I'll put in about watering the tomatoes or putting the trash cans out, things like that. Any type of bills, those things go in there. Now this is what I was referring to. So I printed the weekly chart, which I'm sure you all are familiar with, and I did put a couple of items, typed in a couple of items that I knew were going to be recurring, and I put them in red just because it stands out, pops more on the page. But I hole punched this, and then I put slits in it to move it. Now the problem with this is I would have to hole punch both sides so that I could see the page when I get to the daily pages. For example, here's the 30th. I would need a hole punch on this side too so that I could have it when I'm on this day, because I'm not going to be able to see it. And this one, it would be fine. I think that the holes on this side are going to be distracting to me, and I don't know. I'm not sure if I can handle that. And then comes the point of, well, then what are you going to use this for? I mean, I'd rather use this for what I did during that day. And then I can account for, what did I do? What did I slack off on? Did I just not get any of the work done because I was, enthralled with something else or whatever? But I thought I would keep this as at the back of the week, the daily pages, as a reminder, or maybe even at the front as a reminder of things that I need to do for the week. So I'm playing around with it. It does have the menu, the grocery shopping list, and the weekly menu for meal planning on the back, which is great. But I don't really need to meal plan, but I do sometimes like to document what I've had for the day so that I don't eat the same, like chicken every night. And the grocery list is handy. But, I don't know. We'll see. Again, the person who sent me this laminated a to-do page, a Filofax to-do page, and laminated a piece of regular Filofax paper. I thought that was a pretty neat idea. Again, use a Sharpie marker and it will wipe right off. Now here's April. I did a much better job of cutting this, but I had to redo it because the first one totally messed it up. Again, much cleaner. The daily pages I went ahead and set up, and here is, I've already even put the slits in and everything, but I put the washi on it to protect the holes from ripping too much. But again, I'm going to need to double hole punch, and I just don't know how I feel about it or not yet. So we'll see. I kind of like the stiffness of that today marker, and if I could use those glue dots or something to put it on the back or the front of this and be able to still use it that way, because I kind of like that it's harder and I can write on it. When it was as a tip-in before, you'd have to have it on something to write, and that part is difficult. So, and yes, I can do it on here, but I like the hardness of this one. So, and it's just as easy. I don't need to know what day I did it on here. This is more of a reminder, don't let me forget it to fall through the crack. Where this is more of daily to-dos, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever. I don't want to think of it like that, because now I got the daily pages. Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense, because anyway, so I only have the 2 months in here. This is all the daily pages and all the weekly pages for the entire month of March and April. Just a blank piece of paper that was left over. Future dates on a sticky note. Lists are where I keep my project list, and it's on a project card with a business card with the project numbers on it. And on this side is going to be the dates that are for releases. So I'm going to stick it in a business card holder and put it on the back of there because those are permanent. Oh, those dates are like set in stone. I put an extra couple of pieces of paper in here just in case, but this is like my project section of project, not really notes, but things that are related to my projects that I manage. Shopping list. This is where I was going to put grocery shopping or things that I, needed to buy when I'm out and about. And then the others is for daily expenses. And I found this on Miss Wenda's Blogspot too. And I do want to start using this on a regular basis. And it's not going to be a check register kind of thing, but watching what am I spending on and where's my money going? You know, so this is what this was meant for me to print out. So I think I did it 4x4, so I got 4, 5, 6 pages or whatever. I don't remember. And then this came in the Malden today, and I went ahead and kept it. I'm thinking I might even laminate this and use a Sharpie, because all I have to do is wipe it off and start the other, you know, use it for like once a month to put your register items. And then why get rid of the page? Just laminate it and wipe it off and use it again. Anyway, I thought that was a brilliant idea. Might just do that. So here, some extra paper just in case to order. Then I got this from that same woman who mentioned the business card holders. She mentioned that if you get a badge holder from Walmart, I actually ended up getting the badge holder from Staples because my Walmart didn't have them in there. But this is what it looks like. It's just like one of those badges that like a nurse or somebody that has to work on a floor where you have to show a badge to get on an elevator or whatever. Well, it's the perfect pocket size, and it has a top opening slot. So I just hole punch them, and inside I have my blood donation card and the little 3 Hobonichi stencils. Have another one with a Midori pocket thingy attached to it. The cards are actually not in here. What I had planned on doing was putting my stamps here, but I ended up putting them up front. But the stamps would go here. My business cards are inside the actual, and then I have another little thing here, and here's the other like stamps. I got these stamps in Hawaii, so I keep hold of these Aloha stamps, and these are like penny stamps or something. Found this on Pinterest. I thought these were really great. 10 hours of it goes 0 to 10. 0 hours of television, 1 hour of exercise, 2 liters of water, 3 cups of hot green tea, 4 short mental breaks, 5 small meals, 6 a.m. wake-up time, 7 minutes of laughter, 8 hours of sleep at least, 9 p.m. end of the day and off to bed, 10 prayers of gratitude. I thought that was great. Great little thing. So I printed it on photo paper, cut it down, corner squared it, and put it in the back of my planner. And then I have one last one with my with a business card holder attached to the back of it as well with my blood donor ID. And then in this back pocket is those little day timer post-its. I can use these for groceries as well. Oh, I got something on my planner. Anyway, I'll have to wipe that off. And then in the back pocket is a metal stencil. A lot of useful stencils on here. I use the Sun and Clouds quite a bit. The rain one I don't use because it really doesn't rain out here I think we get rain like 3 days a year. I'm in the desert, so the heart one is useful for when hubby and I go on a date. I forget, I used the dog one already when my dog was sick. The travel, the plane, the car, all those are useful. I like that it has a question mark and exclamation point, and I like these little arrows to indicate like time between on the days, so very handy. Got that on Etsy. And then those are those transparent stickers that I use on Miss Wenda's year at a glance calendar, so they go back here as well. And that's it. So the pen I was using is a Friction Slim Biz pen. It's a metal barrel. It, I think, is a 0.4 tip. It comes in black, but I prefer blue ink, but I haven't changed out the ink yet. And I almost always remove this little sticker thing. I don't like having that extra sticker, but this is where the eraser is. I have a ton of Friction pens, and I keep them on my desk handy along with the Friction highlighters, but I have a variety of Friction colors. Let me take the scissors out. In most of these are Friction related. Some are not, but most of them have some sort of Friction pen in them. So I use that quite a bit. Anyway, up next is going to be the Malden, the personal size. I promised to do that as well. So although I was using this planner exclusively the first week that I got the pocket, I went back and filled in the weekly page for this week so that I could show you how I was using the inserts on the personal size. So I'm about to run that video as well, so stay tuned if you're interested. But I think I'm really, really liking this pocket setup right now, and it's working for me. I like the compact size of it in my hand and the weight of it now off my bag. So this to me is a big win, and I'm very pleased with it. So if you do have any questions, feel free to ask, and see you on the dark side. Have a great day. Bye.